Well, welcome to a new Harry's Garage video, and today's car is the new Volkswagen Golf R you see here. 2021 introduces the Mark 8 version of the Golf, and this one packs 320 horsepower and for me is a sort of definitive car. The three definitive cars I think across the whole car park is the Golf, the Range Rover and the Porsche 911. That's why I wanted to get this Golf R in. I also just put it next to the Yaris, the GR Yaris, because I can't help but compare. Both have this four-wheel drive, this chassis dynamics, and a very potent turbocharged engines. The Golf R, I'm amazed that VW say they expect this one to account for 10% of sales, and it was always a very popular model. And basically because of lease deals, you get mega lease deals, £300 a month or something, got you a Golf. But it disguised how much the price of a Golf R had gone up. And this one now, basic on the road price, £39,295. And that includes first year road tax, which is £895 on this car now. But with a few extras, it soon goes the wrong side of 41,000. A friend has spec'd one of these up, quite remarkably, with a performance pack, etc., to £53,000, and he's about to take delivery on it. So yeah, Golf R sort of sits in a different class of car for me now at that sort of price. Anyway, let's go and have a closer look. It's great having both cars here. I didn't realise quite how bluff the front of the GR Yaris is when you compare it to the Golf. This is much more streamlined and actually is much lower bonnet line. When you turn everything on, there's a sort of daylight LED that sort of rings the lights, and then there's a light bar that goes across here as well. But quite a clean design. The radar sits in here. There's a lot of tech on this car, as we'll get to see when we go out in it. But yeah, that's where the radar sits. You hardly guess this is the performance model, but they do put this flash of blue on it, and of course this very stylised R. Come round the corner and you've got 18-inch wheels on this example, but monster great brakes now, 357mm brake disc and then an aluminium caliper as well, and I've been massively impressed with the brakes on this. You can get 19-inch wheels on for the Golf R as well as an option, but 18 seems to be everybody's favourite. Again, the stylised R, the flash of aluminium on the mirror here is another one that's very signature of Golf R. And 4 doors only, no 3-door Golfs anymore. Come round the back and you get quad exhausts. They do seem to like the quad exhaust, but they are real exhaust. Look, they shake and they're actually attached to an exhaust pipe and goes direct to the engine, which is good. Again, just the R on the back, nowhere does it say Golf. And this is how you open the boot. No cameras on this car. Big boot, as you'd imagine. No spare tyre or space saver or anything on this car. I can't even find the goo. Oh, there it is, the goo sign there. Anyway, it's a big black hole. The thing about the Golf is it's just incredibly practical car. That's what we like about Golfs, really. They answer everybody's sort of family needs. Inside, I have to say I really like the blue trim. You don't get the tartan trim that you see in a Golf GTI, but this is really quite a nice trim. A very trick electronic dash, heptactic controls on the wheels. We'll look at all this when we're outside, but a very different look inside with the Mark 8 and quite a discussion point to say the least. Now, unlike the GR Yaris, this is very obviously a steel bonnet. There are no struts to bring it up or help you do that. A big squidgy cover, which I presume is for sound deadening or something. It quickly pops off. It's just quite nice to see a modern engine. This is the Inlet Manifold, and it's now in plastic. It used to be aluminium, those sort of things. Each plug has its own little module and sort of coil sitting on top, an injection, etc. And then the turbo sits at the back, right against the bulkhead there. Massively powerful. This, as I say, 320 horsepower from a 2-litre engine. I think, yeah, it's not quite surpassed. I had that Ghibli Cup, Maserati Ghibli Cup in the mid-90s, and that one could do 330 horsepower from its V6 2-litre engine, but you're getting mighty close in a Golf. Right, what we're going to do now, take it outside, take it for a drive. Yeah, you get in and you're met by a lot of
screens. It's almost like the screen here stretches all the way right across to the doors. This thin lot of screens to light up. Strange little stubby gear lever as well, or selector. No manual gearbox now on Golf R, that disappeared some time ago. And stop start, rather than having a button on the dash, I've got this engine stop start down there now. Bing, all it comes up. Very shapely wheel, quite nice, the actual gear change paddles underneath. Whether you're actually going to use those or not, I don't know. Very obvious electric power steering, which we'll come to in a moment, and complete lack, I want to turn the fan down because I've just got in. Oh, how do I do that? I can see temperature on here, yeah, so 20 degrees there, 20 degrees there. How do I do that? So this is what happens when you first get into golf. Climate, I go to climate, there we go. I've got fan there. I don't want auto fan. I'll put it on low. Right. Everything is through this screen. I want to check what setup I've got on the car. So there we are. Exterior. No, not bothered about that. Brakes. Now, brakes is an odd one. You wouldn't think, why am I going to brakes? But actually, the ESC system is hiding in there. If I want ESC Sport, I have to do it like that via the brakes. Welcome to Golf Mk.8. This is what it's like. What else have I got to show you? I'm going to go forward. I can go straight into drive like that. If I'm going into reverse, I have a £41,000 car. No cameras. £300 option if you want cameras. I've got radar and things. But just strange. And heptactic controls. I've got a big R on the wheel there. Then suddenly I've got Comfort Sport, Race, Individual. Apparently if I pressed it hard like I did then, I go straight to Race. I have to press it gently. Oh, I don't know. Set this Individual is what I wanted. So much stuff that goes on now via this screen. You really have to get to know it before you can sort of drive off and just do things gently. I've got 2 gauges in front of me, but that all changes depending on what setup I'm in. I'm in Sport drivetrain for some reason. Right, back into drive, just on the auto gearbox. Right, get my head all around that lot, head out, and you'll join me on a different bit of road, and we'll just see what more we can learn about this Golf R. I've still got everything set in as I set off, so this is Sport. Slip through the gears very easily. This dual clutch transmission, 7-speed dual clutch, is a classy bit of kit. And as ever, I'm on my noisy bit of road. I've just measured it and it's at 72 decibels or thereabout. Remarkably refined, this Golf R, when you consider the sort of performance that's on offer. Very different to the GR Yaris with its solid mounted subframes and things. That's proper noisy along there, 911 noisy, but not so in the Golf. In fact, just doing this, there's very little to tell you at the potency there is under the bonnet with that highly tuned 2-litre engine that's 320 horsepower. 320, it's mad. A whole load of torques as well, 440 I want to say, I think, torque. Have this strange noise every time you do something to this. I just find these incredibly distracting, having this touch screen and having had those BMWs in recently. I just want that controller, just a natural way of navigating this. I hate the way I have to go into things. Why do I have this car coming at me? Stop start. So I'm going to turn stop start off, deactivated. Why can't I just do it on a button? Auto hold on here, which is quite nice. Now what else? No, it's not going to move, you see? Oh, God. If I actually go to the modes, that's why we're going through here, sitting in traffic. If I look at individual, the DCC, I can go from Comfort Sport to Race. I'm just above Race at the moment. I've got steering Race. I mean, you'd never know. Drivetrain Race, engine sound pure. I presume it's pipe music into the cockpit. That's why you have to choose how you want the engine sounds. No valves in the exhaust or anything. It's just what's coming through to the speakers. And why have I got different settings for the cruise control, automatic cruise control? Oh, it's just too much stuff. Right, I'm coming out of Burford. Just give it a little squirt up the hill. I'm doing 34. Right, here we go. It's quite a push. I mean, it's muted, isn't it? You don't get a lot of exhaust out. As I say, there is the crap of exhaust if you want a sort of more sound coming through, but it's a £3,100 option, that exhaust. So yeah, tick with care. I mean, it is titanium and, you know, very slick, and yeah, they're excellent bits of kit, but that's quite expensive when it's almost 10% of the cost of the car just for the exhaust. First impressions of this are just refinement. That's what hits you. And also the seats, special mention to the seats. Cloth covered, this is the standard trim. This is the only trim available, unless you tick the box for leather, £2,600. But they are supremely comfortable. I've been living with this car, no aches or pains, and they're quite heavily bolstered. You wouldn't guess when you look at them, but yeah, when things get, you know, a bit leery, the seats are there with you. They're very, very good. I saw Autocard figure this car got 4.5, I think, to 60 and 10.3 to 100 miles an hour. It wasn't long ago that 10 seconds to 100 miles an hour was Porsche 996 territory, but remarkable. It's now available in a Golf. Now I'm going to go to my settings again, and I'm going to put comfort in. That has eased off the ride, and this bit of road, there are £800 option to have the adaptive dampers. This car has to have them, but I suspected there was a way of controlling them, and I've looked through the menus and I can't find it. It must just be on when you go for your driver mode is how you adjust them. But excellent. If you think this is quite an extreme chassis, we'll see in a moment. See if I can just touch that and go back to individual. There we are. I did it! Hooray! First time I've got this to work. You can do all sorts of things on the dash. I can change. I've got the fuel gauge in the middle of the rev counter at the moment. That's optional. So much stuff. You can lose yourself. It still has a 268-page manual. Also, a massive thick manual comes with this car, and I'm not surprised. You need a proper good read of it. Well, here's my compression. See how it deals with this. Yeah, oh God, it's reactive to the throttle though. And round here, my goodness. Yeah, we're GR Yaris territory coming round there. There's not much between them, I'd say, through there. The grip this car finds, just extraordinary. Where does it do it? It's the way you don't expect it from its exterior, sort of very conservative sort of look. And then it has this incredible dynamism. Crack team do the chassis dynamics on a Golf R. It's still quite eye-poppingly good. Right, I'm back in manual. Go through these bends. Brakes need a special mention as well. I have been using them seriously hard. They don't wilt. God, it's quick round there. And then power out so early. I mean, it did a gear change just after we came through the apex there. What gets me on this manual setting is it will still change gear. I think I've even had it in race manual. No, it will still change up when it hits the red line. I think it should actually mean manual means manual. Right, time for some conclusions on this car. Likes and dislikes. Well, dislikes first. Yeah, just the artificial feel of the steering. Electric steering It's hard to master, but this is pretty damn inert. The only thing it does is load up. When you're cornering, you do feel load up, but there's no other information coming from the wheel. The GR Yaris does it way better and shows you can have electric steering that's good. Another thing, well, I don't know how to put it quite, because it's a £40,000 car, but it does spend a lot of time being a bit dull, this car. The opportunities to actually use what's the magic that is on the chassis are few and far between, and the rest of the time it's just a Golf, and it's quite a quiet Golf, doesn't make much noise, and you'd be fooled into thinking it was just a normal Golf for a lot of the time, unless you live on a dynamic route like this. Taptic controls, I don't know, I can't get on with them. Maybe it's just me, maybe I'm the wrong generation for them, but I do like a switch that I know I've touched and it's gone on and off. I don't like to have to do it by feel and sound, I don't know why. And I find it a distraction, the whole dash setup and the way you're constantly going through the menus. It drives you nuts. I want to just discuss options and that price. It's an expensive Golf, so you think, right, I'm going to make it really special. I go on the options. 3 choice of colours, that's all you get. White is standard. Black, well, £700 if you insist, sir. This blue, £800. That's all the colour options you get. No options on the interior colour, just leather, that's it, 2,600. How, you know, I want to individualise my Golf. What happened to those oak green Golf 16 valves we lust after now? You just can't do it with Golf R. It's part of the reason they do those lease deals. They just build 10,000 white ones and then put them out on lease. Getting to the likes, just the dynamism, just that new chassis. They've done wonders on what this car can do. It's near unflappable. It has this trick diff at the rear, which is new on the Mark 8 Golf. And if you do buy this performance pack, then you have the Nürburgring setting on your driver preference and also a drift mode. Madness. I mean, it was on the Focus RS, so I suppose they feel they have to do it as well. But I can just tell you, it's on your side. It's those Evos, Subaru days of old. Now you've got it in a posh Golf, can do the same sort of things. And a GR Yaris, you would say, glued to the bumper of one in this thing, and that's as high an accolade as I can give it for chassis dynamics. It's a Golf, so it's so easy to live with. 4-door practicality. You can get it past the management doors. She'll use the Golf and not realise what's underneath. So that's always been the beauty of Golf R, that to a lot of people it's in disguise of what it actually can do. So, yeah, concluding, the Golf R. Well, it has all this new tech, and the new tech has some benefits. One, you get horsepower from a 2-litre engine we didn't think was possible 10 years ago. 320 horsepower, and this amount of torque, and this amount of responsiveness, unbelievable. Tapped with a dual clutch transmission that is switch-like in how quickly it can change gears. Drivetrain, excellence. Clever e-diffs and that sort of thing. But also with that new technology has come nonsense touch screens and things. The electric steer, which I'm afraid is part of the safety kit and is becoming mandatory, so the car can steer itself out of a hazard. So I've sort of mixed with this Golf R. I admire it. I mean, it's a competent bit of kit. I can't knock it, but it is the definitive performance Golf now. I think the GTI days have gone. With this amount of horsepower, you need the 4-wheel drive, and when it's as accomplished as this, well, just tick the box. The price difference between a 2-wheel drive GTI and the 4-wheel drive Golf R with an extra 50 odd horsepower, you're just going to go for Golf R. So I can see why it's a 10% of Golf sales, because it's so damn good. I'm just a little bit disappointed at the steering and the electronics. I don't need them, but they're here to stay, I'm afraid. So as long as you can live with those, buy your Golf R. For me, I'm sticking with the silliness of the GR Yaris for my hot hatch thrills, but I can quite understand if you go for the Golf. So there you go. Hope you enjoyed this video. If you have, please keep watching, keep subscribing. More videos coming along very soon.